What is happening, men sites? It is time for the video game review of The Evil Within. So, excuse me. Evil Within, from what I understand, was made by the same man that made the Resident Evil series. And I definitely noticed that as soon as I started playing the game. The feel of it was similar. It was reminiscent. The weapons, from the Magnum to the shotgun, you know, and a lot of other choices. I was like, okay, it's pretty cool. I gotta say, this game, you know, is going back a few years. So, you know, I prepared myself for that. I knew that it wasn't going to compare graphically to these remakes that we've seen recently. I knew story-wise it probably would compare. And I knew gameplay-wise it probably would compare. And I would have to say that it did. The story is definitely different than something out of Resident Evil. I mean, you got your zombies, but this is a whole different thing. And this is more like a dream world. It's a creepy horror dream world movie. And it's absolutely horrifying, disgusting, gory, brutal. It's crazy. But I gotta say, throughout this, you know, I'm comparing it to Resident Evil. I don't care if you I'm comparing them, alright? From the same guy. I'm comparing them. Fuck you. So anyway, it's not as scary to me as Resident Evil. I gotta tell you, I had some creepy dreams while playing this game. First, like, few days, I was like, damn, just stop playing this late at night, you know what I mean? It definitely is a psychological, cerebral horror. It's like a cerebral horror movie, you know, and it's psychological horror movie. And I like the characters. The characters were pretty cool. It was interesting. The graphics, if you want to talk the game, graphically, I was let down, but that's because I've been spoiled by today's graphics. Even if I look back, though, I think I've seen games with better graphics than this in that time, you know, but I let it go. The colors were kind of bothered me. They were kind of like pale and muted. A lot of stuff would kind of look the same, and I don't know. It just, you know, I think you guys know what I mean. Certain things the ground kind of ran into walls, and you know, the coloring, like, you couldn't see separation sometimes in things. After you get used to it, though, it's a lot easier to play. The sound was fine. You know, playing the zombies' yells and growls and the shotgun sounds and stuff like that. I was fine with all that, you know. Music was pretty good. The story, I would say the story is more of an in-depth story. That's kind of cryptic in a lot of ways, too. But it's more of an in-depth story, I think, than the Resident Evil story. From when you're playing, there's like a lot of shit to this. And I would say the gameplay was tight for the most part. For the most part. There were some times I was like, the fuck? I know I pressed. You know what I mean? I would say Resident Evil has a little, its gameplay is a little tighter from the ones that I've played. I'm not talking about the ones from that I didn't play. I'm not talking about them. Because, tell you the truth, when I think about it, like with playing Resident Evil 4, what I did play of it, this reminds me of that in certain ways. Not a lot, but graphically and kind of how things move. This, I would much rather play this because I can't stand the controls for Resident Evil 4. But I might go back to that if I can switch. Someone told me you can switch that to how we play in the remakes. Someone help me out with that. Talk about the graphics, sound, gameplay, story. You know what? I'm going to give this a... Let's see, what is this? I'm going to give this a 3.5 woos. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the DLCs. The DLCs were different, you know, playing the stealth with the girl, more of a stealth mode. You didn't really get to use the gun much at all. And then the Executioner was pretty cool. Going in that, you know, you get to play like this OP boss type character, and there's a story to it. It's like, wow, okay, this is different. I liked them. I enjoyed myself, and I think you pay full price for this. It's definitely worth it. Okay? But I was just let down graphically. Even though I took it for what it was, I was let down graphically and a little bit gameplay-wise. The story's a little hard to follow. You know what I'm saying? It's just weird. You know what I mean? But I enjoyed the game overall, and I would recommend it to anyone that's a fan of survival horror. Next, I will be playing The Evil Within 2. As a matter of fact, I'll probably be playing it after you see this game uploaded. I mean, after you see this uploaded. Alright? 10 million subscribers. Woo!